You read the title, you saw the intro, and probably thought, wait, aren't many of them pretty much Pokemon already? Well, my dear viewer, let me take a freebie once in a while. The plan is simple. I redesigned 4 specific pals in the Pokemon art style and showcase the results to you and see how close they are to truly matching the real deal. So on that note, let's begin with... Starting off with the Route 1 encounter equivalent for Palworld, Lamball is, well, of course a simple yet different enough design from the real-life counterpart. But to make this and the other entries more engaging to watch, let's play a game of seeing what's the closest actual Pokemon design in comparison to the currently discussed Palworld design. Now, of course, for this one it's pretty simple, since we clearly can see that it's a Raikou. Although we can quickly compare Lamball, just wait until you see the next ones. Especially since, like usually, Twitter has been having plenty of heated discussions about the creatures being knockoffs, though Cinderace definitely raises some eyebrows. But before I forget, here's the final version of Lamball and how this adorable little creature would look like in one of the most favorite Pokemon games. Way to go, lil pal! Picking this mostly just due to having a fun time using this pal as a flamethrower, Foxparks is a cute design that definitely impedes on the Pokemon principle of the designs having both cute and fierce elements. The cuteness is very easy to spot, sure, but what did I mean by the fierce elements? Flamethrower. Got a bit carried away there. Anyways, what's the closest Pokemon resemblance this time? Well, did anyone say Vulpix? Yeah, I bet you didn't know that one. Oh, and of course, here's the sprite as well. I mean, how could we forget about that? Nah. Acting as the first big boss that anyone playing the game together with a million other people at the same time encountered and battled, our dear Gatling Gunner here is known as Grizzbolt, which for today will join us as a yet another pal taking on the specific Gen 5 art style. But before I joke around with more on-the-nose comparisons, what's actually the method I used for making these sprites? Well, pretty simple. Sketch a rough shape of the body and even it out, add in details and colors, apply shading until I get a full static sprite, split it into parts and reconfigure the sprite for easier animating until the final product. And, of course, Grizzbolt most likely has cousins by the names of Snorlax, Zangoose, and Electabuzz. Oh, and maybe, I guess, that Totoro guy as well. Pretty cool neighbor. Making it already to the end with a swift pace, and hopefully enjoying yourself in the meantime, what else could be a better finisher than remaking the mascot of Palworld itself as the final contender? Now that I introduce you to how the mascot looks except the picture you constantly saw on Twitter updating about the record breaks and sales, Relaxaurus just looks, well, so cute. But yeah, statement redacted. It looks like a Gudra and Quagsire baby. Opinion invalid. But yeah, of course, a little bit. Yeah, I know, great piecing, but about the actual sprite itself, yeah, you know, I think I did some justice for it. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's just go. This video is breaking at its seams the longer it goes on. Oh my god. You know what? That actually was surprisingly entertaining. And even though it maybe felt like it at some points, but no hard feelings towards the devs. I already got plenty of hours logged on Steam. But enough dick riding, let's look at a final conclusion for the video. All in all, I would say that even most of the designs are very similar to some Pokemon designs, probably on purpose. They do still fulfill that friendly yet fierce, tameable creature vibe. Now, of course, the Gen 5 art style may be carrying more than its own weight at this point, but you get the memo. After all, it was a pretty fun experience for me, which I hope you enjoyed as well. Even that much as to subscribe? Too much? Alright. But that does it for the video. Check out maybe one of these videos, but otherwise, stay tuned for more.